everybody, welcome back to BnB Anime, the channel where normally two of us idiots talk about life, anime, and banter for about an hour and a half about basically nothing. However, today things are a bit different than normal. I just returned from the theaters where I got to experience a double feature of anime goodness. Rascal Does Not Dream has officially hit the American cinema once again, and I could not have been more excited to go. With Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Venturing Out and Rascal Does Not Dream of a Knapsack Kid finally hitting US theaters, I leapt at the opportunity, bought tickets, and drug my friend and his girlfriend along with me. And neither of them had actually watched the original Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai series or the sequel film, Rascal Does Not Dream of a Dreaming Girl. So, needless to say, they were going to be as lost as all get out, but in for an emotional roller coaster ride nonetheless. And what we actually got was exactly just that. Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Venturing Out was, without a shadow of a doubt, an emotional roller coaster. However, it was totally different from what I expected. It sort of shattered all expectations throughout the hour and 15-minute duration. With the rest of the series consisting of Sakata, our main character, getting entangled with a new girl, going down some twisted, convoluted plot point involving puberty syndrome, and everything resolving within a matter of a couple of episodes after some hard-fought self-actualization. This film really pumped the brakes on all of that and actually focused on the fallout of all of Sakata's exploits up to this point, primarily pertaining to his sister, Kaede. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this podcast or any of our videos before, we have a long-standing thing here on this podcast where whenever we get into spoiler territory with what we're talking about, we ask that everyone put on their spoiler chicken hats. So let's go ahead and pop those on really quick. And let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. Also, I need to mention trigger warnings pertaining to bullying, mental health, and the like. So the story primarily pertains to Kaede, Sakata's little sister, this go around. Kaede has had a troubled history throughout the story up to this point. From getting mercilessly bullied into a mental breakdown so severe that her brain banished her memories to the Shadow Realm, having her mother have a mental breakdown due to the stress of her condition and having to be hospitalized, and to having to get used to a new life in a new place with only her brother by her side to help her navigate a life without any prior notions as to how her former self was. In fact, the final main storyline of the anime was about new Kaede doing everything she could to be able to go back outside and be able to go back to school because she didn't want Sakata to worry since she knew her memories would be returning to her. And the film follows Sakata and Kaede during the aftermath of her memories coming back and old Kaede's transition into pursuing her studies in an attempt to following up on new Kaede's final wish, which was to go to the same high school as her big brother. Also, side note, moving forward, old Kaede will refer to Kaede prior to the memory loss, and or current Kaede, and new Kaede will refer to the Kaede during the 2-year gap while she was still suffering from amnesia. However, before we get into any more of that, the film actually opens with a dream sequence of Sakata running into an elementary school-aged Mai that totally does not come into play in the following film. Nope, definitely not. Now, getting back to our regularly scheduled programming, the film continues on pretty much where Bunny Girl and Dreaming Girl left off. Sakata focuses on studying for entrance exams for college, Mai actually having to study for said entrance exams because she is about to be taking them for college, and Kaede having to study for high school entrance exams because her teacher asked her what she wanted to do when she grew up. The school counselor then has a meeting with Sakata, Kaede, and their father about potential futures for Kaede as far as school is involved. The counselor suggests that Kaede adopt an online school so that she can cope with her memory loss and give her a better environment to learn and succeed, since she would have the ability to learn at her own pace and in a comfortable environment. However, Kaede is incredibly adamant that she go to Sakata's school, So the vast majority of the film is Kaede studying her ass off, with Mai, Sakata, and Mai's younger sister, Nadoka, helping her study. Throughout all of this, Sakata and Kaede find out that their mother is finally beginning to recover enough to be sent home, so they're also faced with the notion of finally being able to see her again for the first time in 2 years. But more on that in the next video. Wink. And finally, the day comes for Kaede to take her entrance exams. After pushing through with all of her prior trauma, she makes it to the school and begins the exam, while Sakata returns home to actually begin studying for his college entrance exams. However, when he begins to heat up his lunch, he gets a call from the school telling him that Kaede has fallen ill during lunch, could not finish her exams, and is in the nurse's office. After rushing to the school, Sakata finds Kaede burritoed in the bed in the nurse's office, and he begins to try to coax her out so she can try to finish her exams. However, it is at this point that Kaede breaks down and vents all of her frustrations up to this point about how she worked so hard to get to this point, how all the help from Mai, Nadoka, and even Sakata has helped her get through all 3 of her exams prior to the lunch period. But during lunch, she just so happened to walk past another girl wearing the uniform for the school that she goes to, and it just caused her trauma to flare up, and she just physically couldn't continue after that. She lamented about how she felt like everyone in her life was only there due to new Kaede and wasn't actually there for her, even accusing Sakata of loving the new Kaede and wasn't actually there for her. However, their conversation was cut short when the teacher presiding over the exam came to tell Sakata that the exams were over and he could go collect Kaede's things. So Sakata goes to collect everything and discovers she had actually brought new Kaede's journal to the school along with her. And after flipping through it and reading the final entry in the journal, he realizes why old Kaede was so adamant about wanting to go to the same school that he did, and it was because that was new Kaede's final wish in that journal. And following that, Sakata, Kaede, and Nadoka meet up with a member of Nadoka's idol group, Uzuki. After a rest and recoup period for Kaede, Uzuki is a member of the online learning school that Sakata was considering talking to Kaede about attending. And after having a discussion between all 4 of them, Kaede makes up her mind to actually attend the online school. However, because life can never actually be that simple, the following day, Kaede receives a phone call from Sakata's high school to tell her that she'd actually been admitted to the school. However, she stands firm in her decision to attend the online school on her own terms, and the film ends with Kaede, Sakata, Mai, and Naoka all enjoying spending time together, with Kaede and Sakata agreeing to meet with their mother. And as far as my overall thoughts on the film, I really enjoyed everything. Cloverworks 100% worked their ass off on this. The soundtrack was very enjoyable. The visuals were actually incredibly well done. In fact, I was captivated by a lot of the landscape shots throughout both of the films, which I'll get more into Knapsack Kid in the next one. The voice acting was remarkable as always. These films have a way of drawing you in with the voiceover performances and just really projecting raw emotion and getting you to feel what the characters are feeling. So top marks for the Japanese voiceover artists for this. And the storyline was captivating throughout as well, getting more of Kaede's journey after having gone through all that she had. and moving forward with her life like she did. It was incredible to see. Especially with this film taking a step back from puberty syndrome and the supernatural elements and really just focusing on Kaede's journey and the continuing story of Sakata and his adventures. It was absolutely a phenomenal time, and I cannot wait for what more they have in store in the future. Overall rating, I'm going to put it like 9.5, somewhere around in there. I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is I was an emotional mess leaving the theaters, mainly because of the second part, but we'll get into that in the next one. But yeah, overall, it was a really, really enjoyable film. And I highly recommend that whenever this releases again, whether it release, on streaming platforms or however it comes out into the American market or wherever it is that you're watching this from, I highly, highly recommend checking it out. It is 100% worth the watch. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, but you're like, hey, we like this guy, but there's not enough shenanigans. Where can we see more? Well, look no further. Just be sure to hit that subscribe button because there's plenty more videos with both myself and Blue, she's actually the heart and soul of this channel. Don't let her tell you otherwise. She really is. Just saying. And we'll be back with plenty of new stuff for you all very, very soon. Anyway, thank you all so much again, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.